Good evening and welcome to the Monday, December 8th, 2025 City Council meeting for the City of Lamar. I'm Mayor Kirk Crespin. I apologize for being a little bit late on the start of our meeting. Right before this meeting, we had a work session with CIRSA, who is our insurance provider, doing a training with our new council members as well as a refresher course for our current council members, discussing the rules and ethics and procedures of being a council member. A lot of people don't realize that there's so many different limitations that we have as council members when we act as a legislative body rather than an administrative body or a quasi-judicial body, of course. So each role that we take is different. And of course, those have different requirements that we need to follow and abide by. And of course, discussing about transparency and making sure that we are being fully transparent with the community and the citizens of Lamar. So I thank Sam Light from CIRSA for giving us this refresher course. It's truly appreciated. For the new council members, I hope that they learned a lot. I know as a council member that's been on for the last 16 years, I know I've at least had 10 of those, but it's always a good refresher course for me to remember all of those items. So thank you for that. There is one other item. We have so many great things that are going on in our community, and we had a wonderful City of Lamar Christmas party this past weekend. It is the holiday season. We had a wonderful Thunder Throwdown. We also had we have a great holiday basketball tournament that's coming up. So it's, I would love to spend more time talking about all the wonderful things in the community, but there is one thing that's a little more down that I would like to mention. We lost a community member with Galen Griet, who has been here at every single council meeting for so many years. Many of you may remember him speaking to the council on issues related to liquor licenses. He was very adamant about making his voice heard against additional liquor licenses. And for every meeting, as long as I can remember, over the 16 years, he's been here to give his thoughts against any liquor license that may be out for consideration by the council. He had passed away over the last couple of weeks, and he will be dearly missed. He was very adamant about coming to the council meetings, not just in the role of speaking his mind against with liquor licenses, but also just to stay informed and be aware of what the council is doing. And I just want to take a moment to, express my thoughts and prayers to him and his family. He will be dearly missed, and we do appreciate everything that he's done for the community over the past many, many years. So not to make our meeting start off on a low point, but at the same time, I did want to give that recognition because he has done a lot for our community. So aside from that, we're going to get started on our meeting. We do have Mike Duffy, who will be doing the invocation tonight. Right?
Shall we pray? Shall we pray? Dear Heavenly Father, as we come together this evening to just talk about the city's business, Lord, and we just ask your blessing on each of these council members and the administration that is present here, that the decisions may go according to your will, Lord, and we just lift all these things up to your Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Councilman Jenkins, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:09 p.m. I will call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Mark Headley.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins.
Here.
Kurt Crespin.
Here.
David Zavala.
Here.
Brad Johnson.
Here.
Brent Bates.
Here.
Kristen Swartz.
Here.
Mitch Hannes,
Here.
Lance Clark.
Okay, we've all had an opportunity to review the agenda. I did not see any changes that needed to be made for the agenda itself. Were there any additions or subtractions for the agenda?
Just,
That would be the consent.
okay.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move to the consent agenda. Now, on the consent agenda, were there any items that needed to be voted on separately?
Yes, there was two checks, one for Gonzalez Unlimited, check number 103723 in the amount of $5,482.16. And then there was one to Riverside Communications, check number 103751 in the amount of $100.
Okay. So do you have a motion for everything besides those two items?
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda minus the two items, check number 103723 and check number 103751. Any final discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of? Gonzalez first.
Okay, so we'll do Gonzalez first.
Okay, do I need to repeat it?
Neil, do you need to do a motion for the checks?
So we can go ahead and vote on Gonzalez Unlimited, check number 103723 in the amount of $5,482.16.
Is that your motion?
Yes.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the Gonzalez Unlimited check for number 103723 in the amount of $5,482.16. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of, with Councilman Gonzalez abstaining.
And I'd like to motion to pay the Riverside Communications, check number 103751 in the amount of $100.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and I will be abstaining. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of, with Mayor Crespin abstaining.
Okay, with that completed, we will move on to the public comment portion of this meeting. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is, of course, at the discretion of the council. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on to the city treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I had a couple of updates. We got notice that we received the Animal Assistance Foundation grant for $18,000. That's the grant that we get annually to help pay for salaries for the animal shelter manager and a few expenses out there. And then we had applied for a T-Mobile hometown grant for the Enchanted Forest, and we were denied that grant. We got a denial letter as well. So those were the two that I had to report on. Does anyone have any questions for me?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the city clerk's report.
And I have nothing to report on tonight unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions for the city clerk?
I don't have any.
All right. We will continue to move on to the city administrator's report. Mitch?
All right, we've got some nice events coming up on December 13th, this coming Saturday from 10 to 1 in the Cultural Event Center is the Lamar Public Library's Kids Christmas. Saturday, December 13th and 20th at 5:30 p.m. The Lamar Police Department Auxiliary has their Christmas light tour. The cost is $10 per person, and you meet right back here on the east side of our city complex. The Sunday, December 14th, starting at 9 is the Elks Hoop Shoot Free Throw Contest. It's a free event for kids ages 8 to 13 and located at Lamar High School. Wednesday, December 17th, the Eli Young Band is performing at the Lamar. The December 18th to the 20th, the holiday basketball tournament at the Lamar Community Building is going on. The City of Lamar offices will be closed Thursday, December 25th and Friday, December 26th for Christmas. We will also be closed on Thursday, January 1st for New Year's. The next Common Grounds will be Wednesday, January 7th at 7 a.m. in the Cultural Events Center. And there is no City Council meeting on the 22nd of December. We had some interesting things happen last week and this week. HR hosted a reasonable suspicion training last week. That's a 2-year refresher. It's for directors and managers so that they have the information they need on how to recognize and respond to if they suspect somebody's coming to work under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And the police are seeing an increase in the calls for service. The Parks and Rec has prepped the community building for all of the upcoming events and that they're hosting. That's a really good thing. Interesting thing that we implemented last week, the Community Development Director and Public Works Director, Anne-Marie, and then Pat Mason and I are meeting on a biweekly basis to coordinate any upcoming development questions or issues so that we can present a more unified approach should those projects or people want to talk. My understanding is in the past it's been community development and we lead that. And then I just felt it was important that we include Public Works because they need to be included as early in the process as possible so that we can look at what might be required for city infrastructure on new projects. And then this coming Wednesday, I'm doing a ride along with the code enforcement officers, find out what we're doing, how we're doing it, in hopes that we can come up with some better ways to handle some of the blight and other issues that we're facing in the community. At the Christmas party this past Saturday, we had some really great events and some really great turnout. The really neat thing was we were able to make award 4 employee and community choice awards to some employees. Ted Vasquez with the Streets Department, he was recognized as Employee of the Year for the city. Tracy Fagan is a Parks and Rec staff member. He was the Community Choice Employee of the Year. The Volunteer of the Year was Gail Crawford from the library. And then our Department of the Year was the Fleet Maintenance Department. They do a really good job at keeping the vehicles maintained and a good long service life on all of our vehicles. This morning at about 11:30, we had a Years of Service Award in the Cultural Event Center where we recognized all the city employees who are experiencing their milestone awards. So 5 years, 10 years, 15 years with the city. Had a really great turnout. We had some sandwiches and salads and that was a really great time. We recognized a couple of people for their 25 years of service, a couple for 20 years. The really neat ones was we recognized Pat Mason for 40 years of service to the city, which is very uncommon in these days to have somebody who stays here 40 years or stays anywhere for 40 years. But even on top of that, we recognized Ted Vasquez, who has 44 years of service to our community. So that was really great to be part of that. And do you have any questions?
The only thing I would add, I know you had mentioned about the Lamar Holiday Basketball Tournament. I kind of brushed over it earlier, but the Thunder Throwdown that had just happened, I just wanted to congratulate the boys who had won the tournament. They were over Dumas, 55-49, and the girls who got second place, that was a tough battle with Dumas, 50-35, but great job for both teams, and they did a wonderful event, and it was a great success as far as the tournament goes. So wanted to give kudos to the staff at the city and also at the school district for putting this on.
Thank you.
It's always a great benefit.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mitch?
I don't have any.
Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the reports and correspondence from the council. I'll start off with Joe.
Golf board hasn't met yet, and the PEP won't meet until the third Monday of every month.
All right,
No correspondence.
no correspondence yet. Jerry?
I am the liaison. The Public Safety Board will not meet this month because of the holidays and the basketball tournaments, so we won't meet again until January the 15th at 4:30 in the library. I would also like to thank the Lamar Community Thanksgiving on November 27th. They served 350 to 400 friends, neighbors, and visitors that came to the Hope Center for Thanksgiving. We'd really like to give a big shout out to that group that does all this. And maybe one day we can have them come here and we can thank them in person. And then I think that's all. I
Okay.
remember, I'll come back.
All right, sounds good. David?
Don't have anything. I know Lamar Recreational Department hasn't put out a date yet. As for P&Z, I believe December 11th. They decided not to have the meeting December 11th because of no applications at the moment.
Okay. So they'll reschedule that?
Yeah, they're going to reschedule that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
No.
Brent?
I do not have any.
Okay. The only thing I was going to throw out there is I know the Southeast Colorado two-shot goose hunt will be this Wednesday, the 10th, or is that? Trying to
That's
remember what
correct.
day it was. Huh?
Yeah, Wednesday the 10th.
Wednesday, the 10th. So they'll be having their presidential reception that they do very often. I mean, it's going to be a great day or evening. So if you have not planned to attend, please do so. I think it'll be great. So and that's always a great event. They have so many different people. Of course, Goose Gossage, Major League Baseball player, Hall of Famer will be there as well as so many others. So please try to attend. I think it'll be a great evening. With that said, our next item on the agenda is a presentation from Lamar High School Student Council. So it's always great to have the students come and visit. It looks like we have 2 individuals and an advisor. If you'll just state your names at the podium, that would be great.
Okay, wait, let me get into the presentation first.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys so much for having us here today. We are Lamar High School's head girls, and I'm Tyler Greenlee. And I'm Maddie Crew. We're just here tonight to basically say thank you to the city of Lamar for helping us make our most recent student council project such a success, which was fixing our parking lot potholes. So as you can see here, this is what our parking lot looked like before this project. At the beginning of this year, Tylee and I sent out a poll for each member of our student council to hear what changes they wanted to see throughout the school year in our school. So we received a lot of feedback, but the most popular response was fixing our parking lot, because this has been an issue going on for a long time. So with the help of our student council advisor, we were able to get in contact with Pat and Mitch and make this goal come to life. Yeah, so on November 11th, we were able to meet with Pat and Mitch just to discuss sort of how everything was going to happen and the plan for the renovations. And by that next Friday, the team was able to start the renovations, and they finished in a day. And we're so very grateful for that, because especially in this busy season for the high school, the sooner the better. Yeah, so this is what the parking lot looks like now. Like Kylie mentioned, this project was completed in less than a day, but although it didn't take much time, the change is drastic, and I can voice for everybody at Lamar High School, we are extremely grateful. So the total cost was $1,616, but thanks to their huge generosity and help, we as Lamar Student Council did not have to pay for any of it. And we just wanted to highlight that and make sure they know that their kindness has not gone unnoticed throughout our community and our high school. Yeah, so like I mentioned, we have received a lot of positive feedback from students, not only students, but staff as well. Everybody is so glad this change has been made, and it's a lot easier for us to go in and out of the high school. But Mrs. Laughlin claims that she misses off-roading. on her way to. But in conclusion, we just wanted to give a big thanks to everyone for making this happen. Yeah, it wouldn't have been successful without the city of Lamar. So thank you guys.
Well,
Do you
it's,
have any questions for us?
I was just going to say, it's great that you came in and talked to the council. We thank you for that. It's always great to have students get involved and, come in and talk to the council. So it's great to see you there. Anybody else have questions for the students?
I don't have any. Those things were a problem when I was in high school. So that's been a while ago.
Been a minute.
Yeah. You probably put them there, didn't you?
I probably did.
Well, thank you very much for coming in tonight. We really appreciate it and appreciate your participation.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. All right. Well, that was a nice presentation and very appreciated, like I said. We're going to move on to our next item on the agenda, which is a public hearing for adoption of the supplemental budget for the city of Lamar for the current year ending December 31st, 2025. To start off with that, we need to move into a public hearing. So do we have a motion from the council to
So
move into?
moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter into the public hearing. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Mark.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right. So to start off with the public hearing, we're going to start with the staff presentation. We'll check in with the clerk, the attorney, and the chief. Ward actually would be the treasurer for this one, since it is budget related. Kristen, do you want to talk on this?
Sure. So we do this at the end of every year. We evaluate the budgets, and if we've overspent or gotten more revenue than we anticipated, it's required by state statute that the city adopt a supplemental budget. So we have to go through the same process that we do for our regular budget. We have to have a public hearing and allow the public to speak and ask any questions. And then we adopt a supplemental by resolution is the way we do that. So this public hearing is just to allow the public to ask questions and council as well. So.
Okay. All right. And was everything posted?
It was. We have to do it in a 10-day timeline. We posted it in the paper of record and also on the front of the building. You might have noticed it when you came in. It's as big as day on the front of the building. So that serves, that meets our requirements per statute to do our public notice.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we had those covered.
We did.
And did you see any issues from the attorney side? Everything was done legally and
I didn't see any issues based on what's being presented. I didn't see any issues in line that weren't in line with the statute or the charter.
all right. We don't really have an applicant's presentation or any of that, so we didn't modify my list here, but I'm going to go ahead and open the floor at this time for anyone that would like to speak for or against this appropriation of additional sums of money to defray the expenses in excess of the amounts budgeted for the city of Lamar, Colorado. So is there anyone that would like to speak for or against this resolution? All right, seeing none, I will close the floor. Were there any questions or clarifications that we needed to ask of the city treasurer or the city attorney from the council?
I don't have any.
Okay, seeing none, can we get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion
We'll second that.
and we have a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. So we went through, did the public hearing, offered the community and public an opportunity to speak for or against this resolution to adopt the supplemental budget. Seeing that there was none and we didn't have any other questions, do we have a motion to take action on this resolution? Oh, it's on the next one. Okay. So that would actually be on item number 3. There is no city council action on item number 2. So we will move to item number 3, which is the resolution appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of the amounts budgeted for the city of Lamar. Basically the same thing. Do we have a motion?
Just to check, do we need to read it?
It is a resolution. No, we do not.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 25-12-01, amending the 2025 budget increase.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is to adopt a resolution 25-1202 to adopt the 2026 rates and fee schedule. This is initiated by Kristen Schwartz, our city treasurer, and worked on with our city administrator as well. You had reviewed this, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Did you want to talk on any of the changes?
Sure. So each year we adopt a new fee schedule in December for the upcoming year, which would be 2026. So I have all of the departments and Mitch and his staff go through the rate and fee schedule and they recommend any changes. So what you see in front of you is the recommendations are in red to the right of the 2025 rates, the current rates. So we had, Mitch brought some for the building and the community development departments. There were a few in there regarding, he wanted to change it, they wanted to change it from per lot to per acre. It just seemed more applicable, and Mitch can speak on that if he would like. Because we have lots that are different sizes, so it made it more consistent. So it was an awesome suggestion. We had a wastewater rate study done a couple of years ago, and there was a plan laid out to increase water and sewer rates each year according to that study that was done and accepted by council. So you'll see rate increases in the water department for taps and things like that for the rate study that was adopted. There were a few animal control fees that they wanted to look at and increase. We had our code enforcement supervisor go through and establish what the current cost of care is for animals and taking care of them within the shelter. So they did suggest some increases in some of those fees to cover our costs. So those are some of the highlights. I don't think there was just one in sanitation. We updated the labor costs just to keep up with the cost of living increases. But other than that, there weren't a whole lot of other ones suggested for this year. So Mitch, did you want to go ahead and?
So when it comes down just that one where we charge per lot versus per acre, it just made it easier when somebody's annexing in. It might not have the individual lots identified, but we know it's an X amount. It makes it easier for a developer or a property owner to know what the costs are going to be. It also allows a little more flexibility when they're deciding what they want to do with that. And once we get into the development plan stage, it makes it easier for them to decide what they want to do. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that, unless you have any questions.
I don't have any questions.
So these wouldn't take effect until January 1, but we go ahead and get the resolution passed if that's how you guys see fit, just so that we can have them in place to start the first of the year.
Okay. Council, do you have any questions on the new fees and rate schedule? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the new fees and rate schedule.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the 2026 year's rates and fee schedule. Any final questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the 2026 bail grant. This is initiated by Kristen Schwartz and Kevin Ritter and Tess Camp. It looks like Chief
Kevin's-
Ritter will be discussing this.
Just a quick bit of information. This is a grant that we received for many years, approximately 15. It's administered through the 15th Judicial District Attorney's Office. We have received additional funds we requested this year. This will more specifically cover successful examinations, which are usually paid from the operating cost of investigations budget. We usually send $1,000 each. Get some compensation for that would be through the Victims Assistance Rate. So we request additional funds to offset some of those costs that we generally have. Other than that, everything is exactly the same. Again, it's a grant that we've received for numerous years. So it's pretty consistent, just as this year is the increased cost.
The award was for $23,624. Some of that goes to pay for the staff salaries and then also any bail-related expenses. So it was
Compensation for
um,
the victims of crime, and keep them updated on progress in court cases, and get assistance through that process.
and they also pay to go to the COVA
Yes.
conference each year too as well.
Training for at least 3 department members.
Okay.
So we're just asking for acceptance of the grant and allowing the mayor to sign the grant agreement.
Okay. It's always a difficult decision to accept free money like this.
Especially when it's increased from year to year.
Yes. But it is great, and it is income that comes into the city that we weren't expecting. So that is very helpful. Council, what is your pleasure?
Move to approve the acceptance of the Vail grant for 2026 and allow the mayor to sign.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. As stated, any final discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda, schedule a public hearing for a new fermented malt beverage and wine retail liquor license for All American Meat Incorporated, doing business as Farmers Country Market, number 12. This is, of course, Farmers Country Market is the Driftway, as some may know it, but it's still the Farmers Country Market on, is that 6th Street?
Yes.
Okay. So we would just need to schedule a public hearing for this. And it looks like the recommended date is to set that for January the 12th, 2026. Is that correct? Does anyone have any questions on that? Or would you like to push it to a different date? 12th would be our next meeting.
Make a motion to approve the setting of public hearing date for application on January 12th, 2026.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to set the hearing date for the 12th. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right. So as Mitch mentioned earlier, we did have a luncheon today where we had honored our staff for the years of service. And one of the things that Mitch, as far as an idea, a new way to honor our staff, Mitch had proposed that we give them certain amount of hours as a kind of a token of gratitude for their many years of service. So for instance, if they were a 5-year employee that met their 5 years, they got 4 hours off as a free 4 hours off for the day. If they were 10 years, they received 1 day, which was 8 hours. If they received 15 years of service, they got 2 days off, and so on. I had asked, just to be safe, I had asked Mitch to formalize this and put it onto a poll for the council to review and for us to discuss tonight, and make sure that the council was in agreement with this and make sure that we did everything out in the open for transparency for our community. We did perform a phone poll before we had offered this to the employees, which was done earlier today. And it was unanimous on the phone poll. But just to be safe, I wanted to bring it up into our standard meeting, have a discussion if there are any questions, and ratify this phone poll as it is. So Are there any discussions or comments from the council? I think it was very well received. The employees were very grateful. Their eyes kind of lit up when they found out they're getting some time off. So
They
it was
really
very
were.
nice.
I make a motion to approve, or, a motion to ratify the phone poll to approve the policy for years of service recognition.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I will say, I think, Mitch, this is going to be added in as a policy so that it's standardized from this point on. Is that correct?
That's correct. It'll be incorporated into the personnel policy manual.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, it was passed and we do appreciate the many years of service. Next item on the agenda is the annual asphalt and concrete material bid. This is initiated by Kristen.
Yes, sir. So every year we go out at this time for our annual asphalt and concrete materials bid for the Public Works Department. Bid packets were mailed and the request for proposal was advertised in the paper of record on November 14th. We received one bid and it was accepted by me by 5 o'clock on December the 2nd. We had the bid opening on December 3rd and the bids were acknowledged and accepted. So we are recommending that the piece of the bid that Brandon Aggregates bid on, that be awarded to them. We did not receive, again, any bids for the asphalt or concrete. So I'm sure Pat and Mitch will have to do some work on that and see if we can't get, this has happened to us the last 3 years, and then United, I don't know if they're going to have a conversation with you or not, or if you've heard from them or.
Okay.
We're just asking for award the piece of bid that Brandon Aggregates bid and award that to them.
Okay. All right, so this would be to award the bid, the portion of the bid that was actually submitted, correct?
Yes, sir.
To Brendan Aggregates. All right, council?
Just out of curiosity, did what they bid go up much over the last year?
Relatively small as far as the aggregate.
Yeah. I'm just curious with inflation.
Okay. Council, what is your pleasure?
I also move to accept the bid from Brennan Aggregates.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is to award bid 45011 for the 2026 annual screen printing and embroidery contract.
Yes. So same story. We did the same dates of advertising. It was mailed out and it was advertised in the paper of record on November 14th. I did receive 2 bids and they were accepted by me by 5 o'clock on December 2nd, and we did a bid opening on December 3rd. This bid in the past was just for Parks and Recs Leagues and Programs t-shirts. But over the past couple of years, we've also included other screen printing and embroidery needs for the other city departments so that we could stay consistent. So we did Mitch helped me tremendously, and Tendon, we rewrote the bid document itself to include that other work. The 2 bids that I received were J&N Shoes and Printed Imagination. J&N Shoes doesn't do their work inside city limits. They ship that out to Ordway, but even with the preference points, they still had a lower bid. And so staff is recommending that bid 45011, the annual screen printing and embroidery, be awarded to J&N Shoes.
It's a substantial price difference.
Okay. Any other questions from the council?
I make a motion to award bid 45-011 to J&N Shoes, Mr. D Sports.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right. Next item on the agenda is the annual Main Street flower contract for bid number 45012.
Yes, so we go out for bid each year for an entity to plant and maintain the flowers in the pots that are located on Main Street and a few down Beach. And so we go out, I did the same thing. I mailed out bids directly to anyone that had shown interest in the past, and then put it in the paper of record on November 14th. I received one bid. It was accepted by me before 5 o'clock on December 2nd, and we held the bid opening on December 3rd to acknowledge the bids. We'd like to award the 2026 annual Main Street flower contract to the home store and allow the mayor to sign a contract. Now, the contract last year and the year prior, I believe, included the Pocket Park. Mitch and I had some discussion. Right now, we're choosing to leave that out of this contract just based on negotiations regarding the Pocket Park. So this contract includes only the flower pots, the maintenance of those. And we can revisit the Pocket Park as we get closer to May, because this contract is in effect from May 1 to October 31st. So we're just asking for you to award the bid to Home Store and approve the contract, which Lance has looked at and so has Mitch. And they've both approved what you're seeing before you. So
Is the bid document that says 45012 with those dates, May 15th to October 31st, is that supposed to be a change on the contract too, or is that just
yeah, what is in the contract?
May 1st to 31st?
Of October 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what we agreed to. Yeah, the bid document went out May 1.
Okay,
May 1 to October 31st. Is that what it says?
the contract, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So the bid and the contract match is what we're getting at?
Well, we adjusted a little bit in the contract because they needed a little bit of extra time with the good weather we had this year. That original date was a little short.
For sure.
They'd like to leave them out there as long as they can while they're looking pretty. So we bumped it to October 31st, and the contractor did agree to that.
Well, it's interesting, you want to talk about going above and beyond. I saw some of their crew out there today pulling dead plants out, getting them ready for winter and next year. So.
She forgot actually that they needed to remove those because we had included that in the contract also last year. So she's like, oh my goodness, I need to get out there and clean
That's
them
funny.
out. But I told her she was.
Being a new council person, is this consistent year over year?
Yes, we usually budget around 26,000 in that line. And it came in under that at 18. It bumped up from, I think about $1,000 from last year, roughly. Just with increased costs of flowers, and they want to do something very special this year. She had mentioned it to me that being that it's the centennial year, whatever, they're thinking about doing red, white, and blue flowers and kind of trying to match that along Main Street. So I thought that was a wonderful idea. So.
And then you also said the Pocket Park wasn't included. So would that still stay under that $25,000 goal later? If the Pocket Park was
I think
included?
what they've been charging us on that is about $1,800 to just maintain it during those summer
I
months.
see.
And that's mostly weed control and things like that in the flower beds themselves. It's not cleaning the park or doing anything like that. That's Parks and Rec, but it's just maintaining those flowers and keeping the bushes and trees trimmed and things like that in those flower beds. So,
We were around 20,000 last year with that included. right?
yes,
This year, I should say, I apologize. This year was the first year that we had them maintain the flower beds in there.
right. We'd had a separate contract the year before
Yeah.
with an individual here in town.
Yeah.
So, yes, so we included it in and they subbed it out last year.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really, the only substantial increase was COVID. I remember it shot up quite a bit right after COVID.
I think just the cost of goods.
Kind of maintained.
Yeah,
right
and
there,
now
so.
we're kind of leveling out, yes. And we've tried some different scenarios and, to keep those pots full and have maybe Parks and Rec just tried to do it after a few years, but they just can't keep up with it. And so this has been our most successful way to handle those flowers. So we did get a grant several years back, a TAP grant through CDOT, which was some federal funding to purchase all of the pots and the benches and the trash cans. So that was all a grant that we received as a city.
Okay,
I make a motion to award bid 45-120 to Home Store and allow the mayor to sign the contract.
112.
It's 012, and then for some reason I added a 0 just to
That's
make
why.
it interesting. Yes.
45-012.
Thank you. That was a typo.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, moving right along, we have the awarding bid 45015, which is the 2026 annual paper of record. Kristen?
So we started doing this when the, what was it? The Lamar Ledger went out of business. They had the largest circulation. They stayed within statute as far as statute sets the pricing that legal documents, the advertising, by line. So we went out for bid. So we did the same thing again this year for an annual bid for the paper of record. So it was advertised and mailed out the same dates as the previous ones, November 14th in the paper of record, which is the Kiowa County Press in 2025. We opened bids on December 3rd. I only received one bid this year again. So we're recommending that the annual paper of record be awarded to Kiowa County Press. We've had really good luck with them. They actually came in under the statutory limit for the pricing. And so we are asking that they get awarded the bid.
Okay. And it is something we have to do no matter what. For the legal paper of record, we have to publish certain things. So this is a necessity. It's not a
That's correct.
It's not a
Right.
want, it's a need
Right.
to do. We have to have a specific legal paper of record.
And I'm assuming then it doesn't matter that this is out of Eads.
Yeah, so the statute basically requires that if the county doesn't have a paper, that an adjoining county can publish the notice.
And they have to have a certain amount of circulation within our county, and Kiowa County Press meets those statutory requirements.
Make a motion to award bid 45-010 to Kiowa County Press.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay,
And I had one more comment. I had another bid that went out for the concessions at the ball fields,
Mhm.
and I received no bids on it. And Anthony and Kendra have asked me to rebid that. So I will be rebidding that over the next few weeks, and then I'll also be sending out the fertilizer bid as well, the annual fertilizer bid.
Okay.
Thank you.
all right. The next item on the agenda is the liaison and board appointments. We had discussed this at the last meeting. We had sent this out with a list. There was a request to have the hours and dates of the meetings sent out to the council for consideration. Has everybody had an opportunity to review this and discuss this?
I have.
Okay, why don't we start with Joe? Did you have any changes to yours, Joe? Which boards were you looking at?
The only change I would like to do is probably give up PEP, that it's during the day. And sometimes it's conflicting right now with what's happening there at the shop.
Okay.
And I'm willing to take on another board or trade with somebody. I'm not sure who, I don't care. But that's it right now.
What other boards do you have again?
I have the golf board. I have planning and zoning and tree board. And PEP.
Okay. So I'll just leave on the planning and zoning, the tree board, and the golf board for now. I'll move on to Mark. Did you have a preference or have you had any discussions?
Yes, I looked at the availability of the boards and then my schedule at the hospital, being that I work until certain days till the evening, and the boards that I would be available for are Lamar Housing and Authority, Community Resource or Senior Center, and Main Street Lamar, and then possibly the tree board. So any of those four.
You said Main Street, Lamar?
Yes.
And I'm just writing these down as we go, just for options, and then we can hammer out the rest, so. All right, Jerry?
I'd like to keep my same ones, Lamar Housing, Public Safety, and Library.
You said the library?
Mhm.
Okay, David?
Right now I am on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board and the Historic Preservation Board and Planning and Zoning. Maybe you see in where are you?
You said Parks and Rec Advisory,
Yeah,
the Planning and Zoning,
and Zoning.
Historic Preservation. Is that it?
Yeah, and that's all I'm on. Yeah.
Okay. Would you be interested in joining any others or trading or?
I'd probably like to try out that Public and Safety Board if there's any openings there.
Okay.
Or the Planning and Zoning. Oh, no, you know what, for the Historic Preservation Board.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. Brad?
So I had talked to Brent about the airport board. And then I would be available for any of the daytime boards if I hear other people say it's a conflict. Anything that meets earlier in the day is actually better for me. So I just would like to say I'd be open to any earlier meeting board.
Okay, PEP is one that's at lunch. That's the problem there, but PEP's an important one.
I would, I would definitely be willing to do that.
Okay. So that would be the airport board and PEP. And what else?
It looks like the utilities board meets at noon also, but I don't know if that would be a conflict.
Generally, they have the mayor do that one, but I'm okay with trading. I'm not.
Well, I don't care. I'm just,
No.
No, okay. Okay, that's all right. Let's see, what else is there? The Prowers Area Transit Advisory Board doesn't meet very often, but they do meet. In the Water Board, in the Adjustment and Appeals Board. So we do have a couple there. The CCOG and SECED is generally the mayor, and the utility boards are generally the mayor, just because of the design of those boards. So I will keep those two at least, but there is quite a few other boards. I'll move on to Brent first. Brent?
So I understood your request is we were supposed to look at these and look at a switch up so that we could get more educated on these different positions. So the way I took that is I listed off 5 that I've not been on and am interested in being on and available for.
Okay.
CML Policy Committee, Planning and Zoning, Utilities Board. I did not know it was the mayor generally, but I had it on there.
Which one?
Utilities Board, Water Advisory, and Parks and Recreation Board. The Parks and Rec Advisory Board was actually the first board I ever applied to. They just never had a quorum to approve me before I got on city council. So I'm still interested in that one, but that is at the bottom of my list as far as priorities.
So Utilities Board, Parks and Rec, the CML Policy Committee, and what else? Was there?
CML Policy, P&Z, Utilities, Water Advisory, Parks and Rec.
What are you currently on now, Brent?
Airport and Adjustment and Appeals, but Adjustment and Appeals seemingly might be joining as one with P&Z from my understanding. But I have agreed to he had a very big interest in airport, so I agreed to pass airport along to council member.
Well, I'm on planning and zoning now, so if council's okay with it, I wouldn't mind adjustments and appeals as well to add to my list.
I think Adjustment and Appeals is merging with.
If they're gonna merge, yeah.
So that's why I put on my list that I'd like to be on P&Z.
Okay, understandable.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I took it as a request for us to look at changing all together so we can all get more educated on the different
Yeah,
boards.
I
So
understand.
that's the route I kind of took when I looked through them.
That's how I took that.
So I don't have anybody for the water board or for the
You have
Powers
me.
Area Transit. You're
I put down for water advisory board.
Okay, so the Powers Area Transit Board, and they meet maybe twice a year, once a quarter maybe.
I could take that because you've only got me for the airport and PEP. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I could do that one also.
Okay, so let's go through and do the horse swapping, I guess, or horse trading. Lamar Housing Authority, we had Mark and Jerry that were interested. Mark and Jerry didn't have any others that were conflicting, just the one. So who would like you want to arm wrestle for the Lamar Housing Authority or rock, paper, scissors?
Jerry would. Okay, if you want housing authority, Jerry, that's if
I'll stick with
you'll stick with that one. Okay, so then I'll take the community resource and Main Street.
Okay. Okay, so that gives Mark 2. And let's see, Jerry, let's go on to the Utilities Board. We had Brent and me wanting to do the same one, but like I was saying about the structure of it, so
Stick with it.
I'll stick with that one. Parks and Rec Advisory Board, we had David and Brent that were interested in the Parks and Rec. Any preference? David?
Which ones did you have, Brent?
I had CML Policy, Planning and Zoning, Utility Board, Water Advisory, and Parks and Rec. And so far, it seems like Water Advisory is probably the only one I'm not competing with any other council member on.
If I can, I'm also willing to give up the golf board if anybody else would like to take on that as well.
And I can't take that one on
You're a board member, right?
I was going to say on the Parks and Rec Advisory Board and the Planning and Zoning, I could see where David and Brent could be on those two. Is there one that you like in particular over the other, David, since you were the incumbent with that?
Yeah, I'll leave it in your court.
The one with the Park and Recreation and Planning and Zoning?
Yeah, if you had to pick one of those two, which would you?
probably stick with the planning and zoning.
And let Brent do the Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Would that be
You're
okay
good
with
that,
you?
Brett?
I mean, you are the incumbent in those, so I'm good with that. I will just say those fall in line exactly with what my line of work is.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my interest point was with the process of economic development, a majority of it falls under planning and zoning.
Planning and zoning.
So that was my thought.
Okay,
but it could
well, if you want,
also-
yeah, we can.
It could also be
could
a
also be a
conflict because it's,
conflict,
that's
so-
the other thing, is it's because it's the voting.
So it might be better to do it.
And I'm good with Parks and Rec. I also, my other thought was like, look at us, big, strong guy, but versus Chevy over here for Parks and Recreation. But no, I'm good with Parks and Rec and with my schedule. From what I understand, they don't meet as regularly, so that might actually just end up being.
Well, I can do parks, and if you'd like to do just try the planning. and
He points out a good point, though.
Oh,
It could be a conflict of
Oh, I
interest
see.
since he's on PEP and he's doing.
Oh,
development.
okay.
Mhm.
Because
That's- I
if
didn't
you're
think
being in
about that.
development and you're a voting member of part
Mhm.
of the development.
So how about I take Parks and Rec and you keep planning and zoning?
Well, okay.
Does that work for you?
That'll be fine.
Okay. All right, so we got that taken care of. Library board was Jerry, so Jerry had 1, 2, that makes Jerry with 2.
And she also has public safety. Or had it.
No, I have it. I'm sorry, Dave, I'm not giving that up.
Library board, that was cut. Planning and zoning, we had Joe and David. So we'll leave those there with Joe and David, right?
I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't mind being moved around.
Airport board with Brad Johnson. Tree board, it was either Joe Gonzalez or Mark.
When do they meet?
Once a
don't.
year and.
Yeah, they don't. Once
They don't.
every blue moon, they don't.
I'll take tree board. I mean, I can.
You gotta squeeze Jack Van Hook and ask him, hey, let's have a meeting. Yeah.
Orion, I'm gonna put you to work in spring, so
Okay,
I got a big project ahead.
all right, so that,
Yeah, I'll assume tree board also. And then if they don't meet, then I can maybe talk to them and get a time that works with my
That's what I would do. I
schedule.
would reach out to him.
So I'll assume tree board also.
okay. All right, so we have Mark on the tree board, water board, I have Brent Bates. Community Resource Center is Mark. So that takes care of those. PEP was Brad Johnson. David was on the Historic Preservation Board. We have Brad Johnson for the Prowers Area Transit. Mike Duffy, he's going to remain on the Ports to Plains. Gulf Board Liaison, we had Joe Gonzalez. Public Safety Board, Jerry said she wanted to keep that, so she was going to arm wrestle David. CML Policy Committee was Brent. And Mitch, as the city administrator, usually participates, but it's usually a council member on there, so. Main Street Board with Mark. We don't have anybody for the chamber. We'll have to look at the staff member for the chamber. Adjustment and Appeals Board, was that David or Joe? Since it's gonna be merged, I think we can leave that with both.
Yeah, it was my thought.
Because I think it's gonna be merged, so,
And you were saying something about the Chamber of Commerce?
yes.
I had that on as one I didn't touch on because I did remember if we had a staff member or if we needed to appoint a council member.
We used to appoint a council member, but one of our staff members was also a participant in the chamber, very active in the chamber. So we ended up moving it to where the chamber, or the staff member just participated rather than having a council member. But if a council member is interested in attending those as a liaison, I think that would be wonderful and we can do that.
I'd like to try that and give up the Historic Preservation Board.
Okay. Okay. Who would like to be on the Historic Preservation Board? Let me see here. I have two of the bigger ones, but We could actually let staff do the Historic Preservation Board because Anne Marie's so active with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then just have her report back to the council.
Well, that was one of the things when I ran for council, I expressed was my interest in our local history. That's my life is history.
Mhm.
The only conflict was the time the board met with my employer. Is there any way that if Anne Marie's going to be on the board as an employee, that then she can meet with me and then I can report as a council member? Or do I have to physically be at the meeting to act as liaison from Anne
Why
Marie
don't-
to me to?
Why don't we make you the liaison and you can work with Anne Marie and the board to try to work out a timing of the schedule?
Because that would be, because that was the only thing I was going to talk to Joe, because, history's my thing. There was just a conflict with time. So now, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
if you
I'll
can
say-
work with Anne Marie and the
I'll-
board to adjust the time of the meeting, maybe they can work
So,
with your
so
schedule.
then I'll work with that and just put me down right now for the historic preservation.
Okay, so that puts everybody right at 3 apiece. So we have Lamar Housing Authority with Jerry Jenkins, Utility Board with Kurt Crespin, Parks and Rec Advisory Board with Brent Bates, Lamar Library Board, Jerry Jenkins, Planning and Zoning, we have Joe Gonzalez and David Zavala. We have Airport Board with Brad Johnson, Tree Board with Mark, Water Board with Brent, Community Resource and Senior Center is Mark, PEP is Brad Johnson, Historic Preservation Board is Mark, Prowers Area Transit Board is Brad Johnson, Ports to Plains Board is Mike Duffy, Golf Board Liaison will be Joe Gonzalez, Public Safety Board is Jerry Jenkins, SECED and CCOG is Kurt Crespin, CML Policy Committee is Brent Bates and Mitch Hammis, Main Street Lamar Board is Mark, Chamber of Commerce will be David, Adjustment and Appeals Board will be Joe Gonzalez and David together. Okay.
I have one more. Joe,
Yes, sir.
you said something about you might want to give up the golf board. Would you want to trade if you take Prowers Area Transit and I'd take the golf board?
I wouldn't mind, if that's something you want to take on, I'm fine with that.
Is that okay, Kurt?
Yeah, that if you both are agreed in, that's fine with me.
Okay, then let's do that. I'll take the golf board.
Okay.
And you'll take the transit board? Well, you got off easy there. That one's like once a quarter, if that.
Yeah.
And free bus rides for life, right?
Okay, so that is the assignment. We do have them listed out. Are we all good with this?
Yes.
And if we are, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the boards and liaison appointments as listed or as announced earlier. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
I do just have one request with that. Can potentially Mary and help Mitch with getting all of those updated? Because I'm still getting emails from past ones I was on. And I've let them know, especially with these changes, that they'd be coming up. That way we can all get sent on the proper email chains for each board. That'd be something. you
Yes,
and Mary
we
could
will,
make
once we
happen.
get the list of who's on what, we'll get that squared away and get it on calendars.
Thank you, good sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, last but not least is miscellaneous items. And then we have a 5-hour executive session. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Is it extended casino night?
Yeah. So is there any miscellaneous items that we need to discuss? Seeing none?
I do want to say real quick, great job by staff on the Christmas party. It was well attended. The food was delicious. Everyone I talked to had a good time. Wish I could have stayed longer and won all of the fake money at casino night, but I had to let someone else win. So
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. So, all right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, our next meeting will not be until January the 12th of 2026 at 7 p.m. So we will see you next